Would like to come up and talk to council. You have 5 minutes.
Good evening, Mayor and City Council. My name is Pam Sordyl. I'm the founder of Puppy Mill Awareness of Southeast Michigan, and I'm also district leader for the Humane Society of the United States. I'm here tonight to provide you an update on the Golden Retriever Kennel that has been failing inspections again this year. I'd like to thank Vicki Barnett for coming tonight to support us. She actually sponsored the Puppy Protection Act when she was a representative, and it's still in play this session too. So, since we visited you in November, the basement kennel was found to be non-conforming use and the owner was fined. However, the detached kennel is still active, housing 27 adult dogs used for the primary purpose of breeding. Oakland County Animal Control completed several inspections recently in July due to a complaint. Initially, the officers were denied access. When they were allowed inside, they found dirty water dishes, excessive feces, dogs covered in feces, debris, hair, mud, and dangerous broken fencing. They provided me 2 photos of all those violations. I'd like to share those with you. The kennel was given an opportunity to address these continuous problems, yet it failed the follow-up inspection. My records show this kennel has failed 14 to 17 inspections. Monitoring is not working. My concerns include a licensed veterinarian has not been utilized to examine the dogs during these inspections. A technician only conducted a visual exam, meaning she only walked through the kennel and observed the dogs in their enclosures. That's not a thorough exam. 2 recent photos that I'm showing you show a buildup of filth and hair, indicating the kennel is unsanitary and has not been cleaned in a long time. The temperature was 91 degrees on the day the complainant visited in July, and the air conditioning was broken. This has been dysfunctional for years. Inspection reports do not mention whether the department is checking the home, like basement, for animals, or even asked to inspect the basement. There appears to be no attempt to build or prosecute an animal cruelty case despite observing conditions that could impact the dog's health. We mapped many observations to our cruelty laws in 2013, and the senior officer recommended removal of the animals at that time. When we contacted Detective Double about these recent failed inspections, he stated Oakland County Animal Control had not contacted him. There needs to be cooperation between these agencies. Although the kennel size has been reduced from 57 to 27 dogs, the conditions have not changed. They are deplorable. Experts in the veterinary field would classify this as a hoarding/exploiting situation because she is selling puppies. Only recently have mental health workers and law enforcement officials begun to understand animal hoarding, which is now classified as a formal disorder. The Hoarding of Animals Research Consortium states almost 100% relapse if animals are not removed from the hoarder and conditions are made to prevent further ownership. We understand Oakland County Animal Control has chosen to monitor the kennel. They ruled out revoking the kennel license, claiming it would limit access to the property. We agree. They also claim the kennel cleans up after repeat violations, and the animals are fine based on visual exams. We do not agree that the animals are fine, and we know the kennel would deteriorate again. This reminds me of the Hoarders Buried Alive show. In these shows, they exploit the family and leave them on their own on their own for a fresh start. We do not want the kennel to deteriorate again, or the owner to be harassed by continued inspections. The kennel will most likely relocate to another jurisdiction. Rose Township has already been contacted recently. Okay, I'm almost done. Since we visited you last November, I have completed a study tracking Oakland County Animal Control cruelty cases. All of their cases were assist only, meaning local police called them to remove the animals. I'm not aware of Oakland County Animal Control ever leading a prosecution of an animal hoarder. In fact, they have threatened to kill cats from an Oakland County hoarding case if the already burdened rescues did not step up. This is unacceptable and shows that upper management is inexperienced and a bit reckless in handling large-scale seizures. National organizations have placement partners and resources that are not being utilized. We have been asking the Public Services Committee to hire an experienced animal control director. Animal hoarding is a community problem. That's why we're here tonight. And we ask that you put appropriate resources on this. So thank you for your time tonight. And I'm going to leave some additional information about animal hoarding for you to read, because that's what this is about. Thank you.
Thank you. It's
Bruce. I have a question, follow-up question. Mr. Boyer and I have emailed back and forth on this, and maybe the city attorney can give you a little bit of input as well in terms of if Oakland County is not either inspecting this kennel frequently enough or thoroughly enough, and there's complaints and ongoing issues, does the city have any recourse in addressing this?
The licenses are issued by the county. We don't have jurisdiction over that license or to pull that license back. We did some follow-up, and I had a police chief follow up on the investigation when we received the complaint come in, and they assured us that they had revisited the location, cleaned up the deficiencies that they had in the kennel when they did the inspection. We were relying on them to do the inspections and to make sure that they adhere to the licensing.
Does the animal cruelty or any kind of animal cruelty laws come into play here if the county isn't either looking at this or not contacting our officers? Is there anything from an animal cruelty perspective with the state laws, anything that come into play?
Well, the state laws have very specific and thorough provisions regarding animal cruelty. They define it, they regulate it at the state level, and now those state laws are enforced through the Oakland County Animal Control. They're state laws, they're not city ordinances. We do have a very basic, short provision in our ordinances about animal cruelty, but it's not defined. There's no definition of it. It's a very old ordinance, and when you attempt to prosecute a case such as that, you of course have the burden of proof, and I believe it's a misdemeanor. It would have to be proved beyond a reasonable doubt. Resources here for having expert officers that are trained in this area on staff, well, I don't think it exists at the city. We don't have trained animal control officers here. The county is where the city has traditionally looked for that. So the ability to prosecute a case like that may be somewhat challenging given the resources that we currently have at the city, as far as I'm aware. And that's why, since the county looks to the state law and has its officers in place, typically that's where we've looked.
Mr. Bridges. Thank you. Mr. Jobick, do you have a recommendation to help beef up our animal cruelty ordinance, or you think it's warranted or not?
Well, I don't know that it's for me to judge. That's kind of a policy question. Like I said, there are avenues and there are resources at another level of government, and there is communication that is going back and forth. It sounds as though that's what has been implemented here in this regard.
Recommendation, Mr. Mayor, can we look at probably a study session, looking at our animal cruelty ordinance? And
the issue with that is what Mr. Jobick said initially, and that is we don't have the expertise on our city staff to be able to enforce this, because the way we are structured, it's done through the county. And so while it sounds like this is a very disturbing thing to continuously hear, we don't have the added resources or the ability to bring on more people right now, specifically for this one issue. We need to do this. We need to work through the system that's there, and seeing that Commissioner Gershenson is back up, I'm guessing that you have something that you would like to weigh in on here.
Well, Commissioner Dwyer chairs the Public Service Committee, and he is completely sympathetic and up to date on this situation. He and I toured this facility, and I actually started to cry. It is such a horrifying situation. Unfortunately, it's very political, but it's because of women like this, like Pam, that we now have a new animal control building, because our building was so woefully inadequate. This is a very frustrating problem. They're going